Have you ever been really excited to invest in property, then you try and get your partner excited as well, but they're just not that into it? Well, if that's you, you might not entirely like this video because I'm not going to be on your side 100%. Instead, this is going to be really balanced and we're going to take the side of both partners in the relationship. And if you keep watching until the end, you are going to learn the 4 things you can do to get on the same page with your partner. And ultimately, that's going to let you guys decide whether investing in property is the right fit for your relationship or not. Meet John and Sarah. Sarah is so into property investment. She's been going home at night and watching videos about property investment. Maybe she's listening to the Property Academy podcast. Maybe she's on the Property Investors chat group on Facebook, but she's convinced that investing in property is the right move for their financial future. John, look, he's just not as into it. He hasn't gone down the rabbit hole. He's not as familiar with property investment, so he's got more questions than answers. Now, here's the thing. John and Sarah will not be successful in property investment unless they can get onto the same page. And if they don't do that, they're going to get into some fights. Here at Opus Partners, we work with between 40 to 50 couples every single week who want to invest in property. And through that, I've seen my fair share of fights. Now, where a couple like John and Sarah might get into some conflict is Sarah is really into property investment. Now, have you ever watched something, listened to something, read something, and you're just thinking, this makes so much sense? And then you go and you try and explain that to somebody else, in this case, your partner, and it's not coming across how you want. You can't get your point across, you're tripping up on your words. Well, that is very normal, and that is where tensions arise. And if you're trying to explain something, you might think, he's not listening to me, or he's stopping me from investing in property, and that is where that tension arises. But here's the thing, you can't invest in property most of the time without your partner. We recently had a couple come see us at Opus Partners. The husband, just like Sarah, dead keen on property investment. The wife, more like John, just not that interested. Now, at the end of the meeting, the husband said, is there any way I can buy a property without my wife knowing? The answer is no, and the reason is, if you buy an investment property, often you are going to use a joint asset as the deposit. So you might borrow against a home that you both own for the deposit for the investment property. Maybe you're going to use cash that you've both saved up, or often as well, you'll need both incomes for the bank to say yes and give you the mortgage. Now, because you're going to use joint assets and joint income, you both need to sign off on that investment because it's going to be co-owned by both of you and you're both going to get the benefits of that. Now, here's the thing. If you've got lots of money, maybe you could do it on your own, but that is often not the case. And imagine, even if you could do it without them knowing, what are they going to say when they find out that you've spent $600,000 of your joint money to buy a property without them knowing? You're going to be sleeping on the couch for more than a few nights. So here's the thing. You've got to use these 4 tactics that I'm about to share with you so you can get on the same page and decide, is investing in property the right fit for you and your relationship or not? Now, if this sounds like your situation, don't worry. Here are 4 ways that John and Sarah and you can get on the same page so that you can come out stronger. The first is to start learning together. Now, if you are the only one learning about property investment, making all of the decisions, how is your partner going to feel? Maybe a bit left out. Maybe they've got a whole heap of questions. And as we said, you might struggle to answer some of those. But if you read the same article or listen to the same podcast, watch the same YouTube video, you can then have a discussion and ask things like, what did you learn in that video? What's the main thing you're taking away? How might we use that and apply it to our situation so we can grow our wealth? Now, the important part of that conversation is you're no longer in conflict. You're not trying to convince your partner of anything. You're now on the same team. Now, you might like to start by subscribing to our YouTube channel. We release new videos every Monday and Wednesday. You might listen to our podcast or even buy our book, Wealth Plan. But you don't have to just listen to my stuff. You might subscribe to Mortgage HQ's YouTube or sign up to Tony Alexander's weekly newsletter. Your next step is to create shared goals. You both need to understand, why are we investing in property? Now, for a lot of Kiwi couples, it's to live a comfortable lifestyle in retirement, to build a passive income, or to grow your wealth. But you also need to understand, well, what does a comfortable lifestyle in retirement look like for us? And what do we want to do? Do we want to go traveling overseas? Do we want to help the kids out? Do we want to stop working a little bit earlier? And my top tip for doing this, for setting goals, is to use a piece of software like My Wealth Plan. Now, I'm going to put the link for this down in the description, but what this is going to allow you to do is set a goal like, we want to retire on 75 grand a year, which is about $1,500 a week. You can put in all of the things you're doing right now, like your Kiwi savers, maybe an investment property, maybe a savings scheme, and then you can see how far away you are from achieving that goal. Now, the beautiful thing about that is you and your partner are now on the same team. You've got this shared goal, this shared vision for what your future is going to look like, and you know, hey, we're not there yet, we've got to invest in something. Step number 3 is to know your role. So while you and your partner both need to be on the same page when it comes to property investment, you don't both have to become property experts. So if we think about John and Sarah, John might say, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of property investment. Sarah, I'm happy for you to take the lead. But he's still got a really important role. So if she gets really excited, she wants to start investing in property, he can just be there to ask some questions, be a sounding board, provide a sense check within that. So while one partner might take the lead, you both have a really important role to play. And your last step is to talk to a financial advisor. Now, if you really are struggling to find common ground with your partner, talking to somebody independent who can answer both your and their questions, that can be so helpful. Now, a financial advisor is not going to sit there and tell them, you must invest in property. They're not there to convince your partner to invest. But what they can do is help you create those shared goals and put a plan in place to meet them through property investment. So I'll give you an example. We here at Opus Partners, we use a slightly gruntier version of our My Wealth Plan software that shows you how many properties you need in order to hit your goals. Now, if you're interested in that, just head to our website, opuspartners.co.nz, because we help regular Kiwis grow their wealth through property investment. But just remember, when talking with your partner, you're not there to try and win an argument and prove that you are right. You're there to work together and achieve your shared goals.